The Electronic Jacquard Machine IP library has embedded database. The database takes time to describe when an event occurred. The time here can be absolute time or relative time. Absolute time or relative time must always move forward and no backwards movement is allowed. That is, the order in which events occur can be known through absolute time or relative time. Absolute time is time in the traditional sense, including year, month, day, hour, minute, second, etc. For example, the current absolute time, March the 24th in 2020 for 093458. Absolute time is easy to understand and is often used to interpret the output results of real-time online detection data. Change the working conditions or working environment of the electronic Jacquard machine, for example, working speed, working temperature, replace parts records, etc. Typically, NTP network time server is required to obtain absolute time. The time server supports GPS global satellite positioning system or other satellite positioning systems. Most electronic Jacquard machines do not have the conditions to obtain absolute time. On the other hand, even if absolute time can be obtained in some cases, there is no guarantee that absolute time can be obtained reliably at all times. For example, there may be problem with the power supply of the electronic Jacquard machine, sudden power off. An abnormality occurs in the network. The satellite signal is suddenly interrupted, etc. Therefore, electronic Jacquard machines often use relative time instead of absolute time, and can convert relative time into absolute time at any time. In this way, the problem of maintaining absolute time is divided into two parts. The electronic Jacquard machine with fewer resources be in charge of relative time. The central server with more resources, for security or reliability reasons. There are several synchronous backups, realizes relative time convert to absolute time. Relative time simply represents the order in which events occur. Relative time requires fewer resources than absolute time, is easier to implement, and is more reliable. The electrical part of the electronic Jacquard machine is responsible for maintaining the relative time. Specifically, the relative time is maintained by the controller with relatively more resources. If the controller has access to time server, or has access to the internet, then the controller can use absolute time. For example, the controller equipped with 10-inch LCD has the ability to access the internet. Having the ability to access the internet is one thing. Being able to access the internet is another thing. Whether the controller can access the internet mainly depends on the weaving factory, whether access to the internet is allowed, whether it has the conditions to access the internet, etc. Please note that an electronic Jacquard machine can be equipped with different controllers during its life cycle, or several reincarnations. In other words, one electronic Jacquard machine can have several controllers. It's just that each controller serves this electronic Jacquard machine in different time periods. Just like a classic car, it can have different frame numbers and different engine numbers. But there is only one license plate number. Even if all parts of this classic car are replaced, as long as the license plate number exists, this classic car exists in a legal sense. Even if the classic car no longer exists, or it is replaced by a new car that matches the appearance, as long as the license plate number exists, the classic car exists in a legal sense. This is what is invisible often determines what is visible. No further discussion. If interested, please contact me directly. Please let us know if you have any doubts. We are willing to provide free technical support. At the same time, we learn from engineers. Thank you for watching this video. Goodbye.